And of course, we want to thank you for staying up late with us here on The Factor Uncensored. We have some great topics to talk about and some great guests here as well. Welcome to The Factor Uncensored. We're exploring the link between rejection and domestic violence. 19-year-old Ariel Cruz is now charged with murder after confessing to killing his girlfriend, Idania Campos. Police say Cruz shot Campos Tuesday after she told them they were breaking up. Now, her body was dumped in the trunk of a vehicle in Houston's Meyerland area. According to investigators, Cruz says he decided to end her life because she broke up with him nearly 6 months ago. Now, police say he was at the young lady's family's home pretending to search for her with family members. Joining us to talk about it tonight here on The Factor Uncensored, trauma therapist Chow Nguyen and domestic violence survivor Matilda Saragosa. Glad to have you all here on The Factor Uncensored. Matilda, when you hear a story like this, surviving domestic violence, your thoughts about what happened in this case with this young lady and young man who's now behind bars?
I mean, it just breaks my heart. It's unfortunate that the family had to suffer these circumstances, and it's just amazing how a lot of this goes under the radar. We have a lot of individuals, and I work with a lot of individuals to this day, sharing all the information and encouraging them to find that outside resource to help them, guide them and cultivate new thought processes when it comes to domestic violence. It's unfortunate that this individual had to end up losing her life. We see this a lot when we have individuals going through these circumstances with boyfriends who feel like they've been rejected, their ego's been bruised, they feel like their insecurities are heightened, and they feel like this is a way to get back what they've lost. I unfortunately was in a situation as well that I was told that if I've ever left the situation and found my own way, that he would come back and he would kill me, and I believe that.
What is that like to have someone that you think loves you, or you're at that point where you know it's over, but they still tell you they will kill you in your life if you want to leave them?
I mean, it's a tough situation. I mean, I totally believed it. I was young and I was vulnerable and I was very impressionable. He was a little bit older than I was, and I just wanted to find what I had thought I was looking for, and I thought I found it within that relationship. And of course, the cycle, it was just one day we were good and one day we were bad, and I was just constantly walking on eggshells. I didn't know when the bomb was going to explode, and I mean, it was just an ongoing process. And then of course the makeup to breakup kind of process, then he would tell me everything's going to be okay. We had children involved. I had no financial stability. I was ashamed of the situation. I didn't want to go tell people that this was happening. I ran from my home because it was happening there, and then I gravitated towards that same circumstances and situation, and here I was again. Everything that I was running from, I was in that same situation. And so I was embarrassed of that fact. But it was a hurtful feeling to know that I was going through all these things, and there was so much out there that's available, and I was unaware with what they have to offer outside.
And that's where Chow Nguyen and her organization comes in, dealing and helping people deal with something like this. But if you see what are some of the signs that someone will kill you if you decide you want to leave a simple relationship with them?
She just broke up, and what we know about domestic violence is leaving does not equate to safety. In fact, it is the most dangerous time. Matilda survived. She's living to tell her story, and this poor woman, this poor young woman, got stuffed in a trunk like a piece of trash by her ex because he said, if I can't have her, nobody can, and then just lies to her family. What a tragedy. But if you know there are signs of things not going right, somebody saw something, somebody heard something, coercion, control, jealousy, isolation, all those things that Matilda had to endure, something's not right. And he's playing with a gun just the day before she's killed, a gun in the house. Leaving, not dangerous signs. And we know 1 in 5 of all homicides in the Houston area involve domestic violence. 2/3 of all domestic violence murders involve a gun. We know a lot about domestic violence, and we know the signs. And like Matilda said, there is help. You don't have to be alone. This is not your fault. There is no shame in seeking resources.
And my question is, should you go off the grid if you're dealing with someone who is potentially like this, who could kill you? Should you disappear and make yourself less available to them?
You know, there are protective orders in place to protect individuals.
Safety plans.
Safety plans. We don't know that protective orders always work. We see that on the news quite a bit. There are plans to protect you. We create safety plans as therapists, as advocates for individuals to know, if I decide to leave, how can I stay safe? What's the code word? Where are my keys? Did I pack a proper bag? Do I have all the things I need? Where am I? Are we making sure that you're not going to be tracked? There are so many considerations in a safety plan.
But my question, Chow, is should there be no contact? Should you not allow them to know where you are if you think this person will kill you?
If it's a question of life or death, absolutely. But that's where the safety plan is important. How can you get away safely? Who can you tell? And where can you not be tracked?
And for family members who may see this and not know quite what to do, and you may not be, that being the person, the victim, before they're a victim, may not know or may not be listening, how do you get to them as family members, letting them know this guy, this person could kill you eventually?
He's a bad individual. You know, I always tell loved ones, family members, those who are concerned, listen without judgment. It's very easy to say, why don't you just leave him? What an ass, right? But that further isolates the survivor and may not make her feel safe and ashamed. Tell them that there's help available. They didn't deserve this. They don't have to be alone.
I think that a lot of family members as well need to pay attention to a lot of the signs as far as that being the daughter. I feel like as I was going through these situations, I was an outgoing, sociable person, and then my demeanor just totally changed. I was quiet. There was little to no eye contact when he was in the room. So there's so many identifiers that they can start to recognize prior to these incidents and maybe ask some questions to their loved one.
All right. We want to thank you, ladies, for joining us for this valuable information. Hopefully, we will help someone out there who heard us tonight.